Hi, my name's Richard and I'm the Community Engagement and Volunteer Officer for the Holywells Park Heritage Lottery Fund restoration of Holywells Park. Here we are, standing here on this glorious day in 2015, but it all started 2 years ago in 2013 with, alongside me, project manager David Burton, and the first project was to restore the pond network of Holywells Park. As you can see, we're just finishing off the dewatering of Pond 1 today. We've got the fishery guys in over there. So far we've caught 150 fish. I reckon there's about another 100 in there. See the silt coming out. So by the end of the day this pond should be empty, and then we can move in tomorrow and start moving the silt out of the pond and transporting it to the desilting area for it to dry out. Earlier today the generator for the water pump broke down, so we were a bit in limbo. We couldn't manage to dewater the ponds, but now it's back up and running. Pond's nearly empty, as you can see, so the ducks have got to find somewhere else to go.
David Burton, Project Manager for the Heritage Lottery Fund at Holywells Park. We've probably removed about 10% of the silt from Pond 1. That's been taken by dumper down to the deposition area at the far end of the site. The silt is spread behind a bund. The bund has been formed by scraping the topsoil off the surface and forming mounds around the edge so that the water doesn't leach into the ponds, so it contains that and allows the silt to dry out in its own time. Once the silt is dried, we will bring the metal detectorists and they can go over the dried silt, possibly with the aid of school groups, etc., bringing them in to help.
Gives a fairly strong signal, which you can't see very well, but that's the detector does pick up coke. There must be something metallic in it of some sort, whether it's these sort of like, I don't know what they have in coke, actually some iron pyrites or something.
We had the opportunity to come along to Holywells Park again because the silt now has now dried out. Well, I'm David Cummings of the Ipswich and District Metal Rejecting Club. And I'm here today with two other friends, Steve Reeve and Andy Howes, and we're here to detect the silt, which is now in a safe mode to detect. The earliest coin so far is George III's from the 1770s, a halfpenny, and today I've got a little piece here which I believe is a token from Ransom, Simmons and Jeffries. The RSJ on it, and this has just turned up today. I don't know any more than that. It's some sort of tally or something of that nature.
Yeah, this morning so far not found that much. About slightly post-war farthing, a threepenny bit, and a rather tarnished 1p piece, and a lump of copper pipe.
This gives us the chance to find things that were lost in the silt from early on. Well, these now go to Ipswich Museum, where they'll clean them up and preserve them, and then they return back to the park. But sometime in the future they'll go on display.
We found many things, from old coins to musket balls to even a modern mobile phone. Ponds 1, 2 and 3, a part of the moat and the canal have all been desilted now. The silt has been spread out, and where the silt was spread, it is now back to amenity grassland. And as you can see now, the wildlife has bounced back. It is a thriving pond now. We have coots nesting, damselflies and dragonflies flying about. The wildflowers that have come up since the restoration, including orchids, has been amazing, and we're very happy with the outcome of the pond network restoration. Well, on this lovely day, let's leave Pond 1 and we can go and look at how the ice house is getting on.
So you've got a section of the vaulted roof further back. They knew that somewhere in the park there was an ice house, but its location was lost. It was thought to be around here, but when I first came here, this was all covered in trees and undergrowth, and all we had was a circular depression at the top there.
The wall's starting to fall away, but it looks broken rather than an inch.
Not a finished edge.
So it looks like there was a retaining wall went further.
Yes, it could have come round. Could
have curved either way, couldn't it?
Yeah. I'm Mark. I'm a professional archaeologist. I was called in by Richard of the Ipswich Borough Council to come and help them confirm where their ice house was. So we came along with a few volunteers and shovels and things, dug a few test holes and confirmed that this is indeed the location of the ice house.
The actual courses don't even line up or anything.
Yeah. But it is similar looking brickwork. So I wonder if it's just, I say, just been jammed in there.
I'm Jem Pell. I work at Suffolk New College as a lecturer for the bricklaying department. The guys now putting the mixing, they're both level 2 NVQ bricklayers. With a dome, there's not many of them about of this sort of size or that have been built. It's taken quite a while to suss out, lots of research. As I was saying to Richard, there's just nothing out there like this. I mean, I've been in the building industry for well over 20-25 years now, and I've never come across anything like this. Chances are they never will again, so just to get a chance to work on something like this is also pretty cool for them, I think so.
Last time we saw the ice house, we'd only just recently discovered it as a depression in the ground. There's still a bit of brickwork to be done. The students from the new Suffolk College are building the arch over the top. They've started some of it, and they've got a fairway already, but there's still quite a bit of work to do. Finish the front here, put a bit on the front as well. And so the next bit is to start doing the dome. That's going to be quite a major project. Building a brick dome is quite a complex thing. A few months ago, the volunteers who have been digging the fill out from the interior revealed a bit of graffiti on the inside. They thought it might be something to do with the Second World War, but we're not 100% sure. Maybe a reference to us being used as an air raid shelter. There was no actual evidence for that at the moment.
Well, here we are at the Ice House, our live heritage project that's ongoing. Suffolk New College will be back next week to put the second skin on the dome, and then the construction work will be finished, and then we'll be re-landscaping this entire area. And then the Ice House interpretation will be installed and people will learn about this structure of the park. Let's go and have a look at the stable block. The stable block restoration is well underway, as you can see now. The new front of house for the Green Bike project created a doorway through to the back where their newly built workshop is going to be situated. We're standing in front of what will be the cafe. As you can see, they've taken a wall out and some interior walls showing off the old carriage pit where they used to service the carriages. And they're just rebuilding the pillars, ready for the new glass doors that will be going in. New reception area, eventually be all glass fronted, matching with the cafe. We're at the entrance to what will be the new toilet area. All the internal walls have been removed and the ceiling ready for the new accessible changing places toilets to be constructed.
My name is Nick Hazeltine. I'm an architect with Thomas Ford and Partners. We're involved on the project here as conservation architects. Both buildings we're dealing with, the stable block where I'm being filmed and the Orangery, are Grade 2 listed. Our initial approach to the buildings was to look at how we could reuse rooms which are quite diverse in size and heritage to make them accessible to all members of the public, but also make them very usable in a modern setting. Where I'm standing now used to be an open canopied area where originally the carriages would have been stored, and behind me further is the original carriage sheds. There were 4 sheds in total, each having a set of barn doors in front of them. We've taken the barn doors off at the moment and we're infilling all the existing barn door openings with glass, but the barn doors will go back on. What it allows is a much larger, diverse space. I'm standing now in the old carriage shed. As you can see, it's quite a large area. We've actually taken up the old brick flooring in here. We've put a limecrete floor down, which allows the building to breathe. We will be putting the brick back on again on top as the finished product. And you'll see up to the original carriage pit. And you can see above me the pulley system for taking out any mechanics to do with cars or carriages as well. Crossing the courtyard, we come to one of the original other stalls, which where the horses were kept, and these ones have actually still got the actual original timber and metal grills on them to show where the horses used to be kept. These are in quite a bad state of repair, but we will be refurbishing them. As part of that, there'll be historical interpretation within this room itself to show what used to happen in this stable block. I'm standing at the base of the old bell. It used to be used by people on the estate. And you'll see above me up there, that's the old clock tower, which we've just replaced the 4 clock faces on. The clock mechanism is original Victorian, it's been refurbished and been reused. What we try and do is that we intervene in buildings, but we don't take away the historical content of the building. We try and incorporate modern elements into the building, like lighting, data, power, and facilities, but you walk into the building, you wouldn't necessarily notice them.
So now, shall we go and have a look around the stable block? We're going into the interpretation areas, how a working stable worked. There'll be interpretation on the signs and activities for kiddies to do. And this stable will be explaining about the Cobbold family and the Cobbold brewery. And we'll go into what was the tack room. Now, the tack room was where the groomsmen and the stable boys stored all the saddles, etc., for the Cobbold's horses. We'll go back out into the courtyard, a newly bespoke made bench from an oak that was out of the park. And new toilet suites in the corridor there. And this area is for the Green Bike project. They recycle up bikes and the guys redo them. If we go back into the courtyard, this is our new cafe. This used to house originally all the old carriages. We've tried to sympathetically restore this space. A part of what we've installed here is the Gainsborough painting Over 100 artists help recreate the Holywells picture. And also we have our Wildlife Whisperer project. We have 4 live nest boxes around the park. Along with the opening of the stable block visitor centre, the clock tower has been newly restored, and tomorrow the weather vane will be going back on top of the clock tower. Okay, well that's the restored stable block. Let's go and have a look at the Dell garden.
Hello, I'm Nick. I'm the Holywells Park manager, and I'm out in the park today with Lee and his group of volunteers who have been doing numerous projects around the park, including what they're doing today, improving the footsteps. They've already improved the footpath leading into it. The volunteers have just been brilliant. They've done a huge amount of work across the whole of the park, including what they're doing here today.
So we're at the Dell garden. This is the end result of all the hard work that's been going on over the last year and a half. We've had a new footpath that's been installed by the volunteers. They've re-terraced the banks to stop the erosion. We've had Otley College in here that's planted up the whole area with all the new exotic species such as ferns and gunneras. This is the end product of all their hard work. So that's the hidden Dell garden, and now we're off to the play area. The new toilet block and kiosk that is being built by the play area. As you can see, work is just starting on the construction of the building.
I'm Leon and I'm a carpenter, and I'm working on the toilet block currently, ready for the new green roof to go on. We're also starting cladding over the next couple of weeks, which is timber cladding, ready for covering up all the block work. Then we're looking to get completed for the summer holidays before the kids come out of school.
We have our final addition to the Holywells Discovery play area, the iPlay, an electronic piece of equipment that runs off solar power. Lovely sunshine today, totally accessible to all, and it's called Stealth Fitness. Also in the play area we have the new picnic benches, and also of course the new kiosk and toilet block that has been installed for all the families and children that use this area. Now we'll just go off to the storytelling circle and see what we've got up there now. We're at the top of Snow Hill in Holywells Park, and we're with a group of students from Otley College. They're busy away sawing, clearing bramble, clearing the brash, and they are helping clear the land behind us for what will be an outdoor classroom. So here we are. As you can see, the volunteers have dug the logs in to take a class of 30 children. We have a large piece of oak that blew down in the St Jude's storm. We're going to get a chainsaw sculptor in here, and he's going to carve this into a throne. Once that's done, we will be getting the volunteers and a hurdle maker to make a hurdle fence made from willow, weaved willow, around this area.
That's it. Just get it running.
So here we are at the Storytelling Circle, one of 3 outdoor classrooms we have. We've had Ben the chainsaw carver come in and finished the throne storytelling chair for us. Richard the Weaver has come in and made this fantastic willow fence to surround the classroom. We've had lots of events in here already, from storytelling to forest schools to Suffolk Wildlife Trust using it as a base for their environmental education. And now we're off to Bluebell Walk. The volunteers have been busy in this part of the woodland over the winter months. There is a lot of light coming into the woodland at the moment. This time last year it was dominated by a canopy of sycamore. There's a pile of wood just behind us. This is the timber from the sycamore. Some of it has been used as a resource for bench legs and lining footpaths. As you can see, this is a regrowth of one of the sycamore trees that we felled. You can see the size of the leaf on it, and by removing these it will improve the structure of the woodland. It will allow a more diverse ground flora, coming up to a shrub layer, to a canopy layer with trees like our native English oak. You can see as we're walking through, there's brash piles of smaller size of brash. This is great for small mammals, voles, wood mice, even hedgehogs, to insects, from the all-common woodlouse to rarer parasitic wood-boring wasps. You can see areas that have been planted up with newly trees that again established native trees such as oak and silver birch, ash and cherry, which will increase the biodiversity of this area for future generations.
Hi, I'm Lee Gillam. Right now we're up on Bluebell Walk, where we've just been working with a group of youngsters from a local college, building this behind me is a stag beetle habitat. Holywells Park, indeed the whole of the Ipswich area, is a real hot spot for stag beetles. Now, stag beetles are not only Britain's largest beetle, they're actually quite a rarity nationwide. The female stag beetle will lay her eggs on a pile of rotting wood like this. So you need to dig in some fresh wood and some rotten wood. It's got to be deep so that they can go down to a depth in the winter, and so they won't die of the cold, and there's got to be enough wood for them to eat over the 6 years. It's a great project to carry out with young people because you saw up the wood, you need to dig a deep hole, you need to have a bit of teamwork to get all the wood together and to finally fill it in. So we always enjoy doing that, and it's great for the local wildlife.
We're on Bluebell Walk and we've had a lot of woodland management behind us. As you can see, the sunlight is coming through the canopy, allowing a lot of wildflowers to get a hold. Otley New College and the volunteers have put in an additional 3 stag beetle pyramids along here this summer. We have now installed 2 pieces of the trim trail equipment. The beginning of the Bluebell Walk is the start of the trim trail, and it takes in the entire circumference of the park. And now we're off to the Orangery.
I'm Jennifer, I'm an ecologist at Delta Simons. In this building a bat was seen entering, so as a precautionary approach we've looked for bats inside, supervised the removal of the metal cladding at the top. This will make the building unsuitable because it'll be light and drafty, and the work can continue inside with no further problems or risk to bats.
Work has now started in the Orangery. As you can see, there's a lot more light coming in. This is because the steel cladding and the roof and around the Orangery is starting to be removed, which has covered this structure for the last 10 years. We're putting in new heating ducts around the side. These will be covered with York stone. There's a temporary surface on the floor which is protecting the mosaic tiling. The pond, of great heritage value, is a technique called Paulmite concrete around the edge. Once it has been restored, will become a unique venue. linking with the performance area, which will be just behind the wood-cladded windows. We're hoping to hold live performances on there, from folk evenings to having Tai Chi, etc. We are really looking forward to this unique structure being ready and open for use by the public.
It's typical of the problems that we've come across. Bottoms of these sash windows are full of rot. The waters come down and come inside, and basically it just crumbles away. So we have to cut everything out, stabilise the timber and splice new pieces in. We're Dorothea Restorations. We're a company based in Bristol who specialise in restoring timber buildings such as conservatories, water mills, windmills. We are restoring the Orangery, which is late 19th century. Got wrought iron decoration in the roof area. It's been quite badly vandalised over the years. All the glass has been smashed. Quite a lot of the wood's rotten. It all needs cutting out and replacing, and basically the glass has to be changed to a traditional type of glass, and it has to be all rubbed down and repainted. You can see here the rotten timbers being cut out and basically replaced with new sections. There's a cover that goes over the front, down over here, a decorative cover, and it'll all be painted and look like new. This column just here, it's had all the rotten timbers cut out, all the wood's been stabilised, new pieces spliced in, and cover on the front, and bar the painting, it's just about finished.
Here we are at the Orangery. That's been fully restored now, with the original floor inside and the restored pond. We're currently holding quite a lot of events in the Orangery. Every Saturday morning we have Tai Chi in the Orangery and on the performance area. And also Saturday afternoons we have Chinese martial arts. We had our first christening party in here this Sunday, which was fantastic. We've also had a lot of interest from weddings for next year to use the venue and the performance area. So in front of the Orangery, we have the newly planted up maize area. This was done by volunteers. They've landscaped it, planted it, and are currently laying the footpath through the maize. And also down into the park, we have the lower terrace, which has also been planted up by a gardening club and volunteers. Now we've come to the end of the construction works at Holywells Park. We'd really like to thank the Heritage Lottery Fund, Parks for People and Big Lottery Fund Awards for allowing us to restore this beautiful park. We'd like to thank all the volunteers that have been involved, that have spent their days in rain and sunshine restoring this park to what it is. all the people that worked on the project, and especially the local community that has got involved and helped guide this project to how they'd like to see their park in the future. Holywells Park, a park for people.